Well, hello there. It's Natalie Tackett, and I'm back to talk to you today about wire for the back of your picture frames. We're going to talk about some do's and don'ts. We're going to talk about some issues, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the benefits of replacing the wire on some of your frames. So let's get started. This is a fairly old frame, and I think a lot of times when you pick up a really interesting frame, a very unique frame from an antique shop or maybe even a consignment store, you will, you're just so excited to find a really neat piece that you really don't inspect it for how well things have been maintained. And when you come across a wire that looks like this, and I'm going to hold it up against my conservator's coat so you can kind of see, this is terribly frayed. It's in very, very bad condition. And this would probably not be something that I would recommend using. So there are several different types of wire. With larger frames especially, I really like to have this heavy duty coated picture wire because it actually makes things so much easier when you're hanging a frame. And for example, you don't get these little frayed areas that come back. So with a larger frame especially, I really like to use the coated wire. But for something small like this, I don't mind using this uncoated wire. And but I try to buy something that's good quality, that comes from a good source. You can always buy these inexpensive picture hanging kits, and they're everywhere. But a lot of times they are very cheaply made. I'm not a huge fan of buying these multi-packs. I would prefer to buy things, especially if you're hanging a valuable piece. You want to get good quality material and use good quality material to hang things up. But let's talk about so how to hang or properly cut the wire and replace the wire on a frame. So in this case, you measure down about between 1/4 and 1/3 down from the top of the picture frame. And so we are about 1/3 at the second eye hook, and it's perfect. It's already in place and it's in good condition. You know, there's it does not turn. The piece of metal is in good shape, so I know that this is going to stand the test of time. Both sides of this are in great condition, and so I'm not even going to consider replacing these eye hooks because I want to preserve as much of the original piece as I can. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave this here. So your other rule of thumb is you're going to measure across, so from eye hook to eye hook, and you're going to take that and add roughly 1/2 to that. So I'm going to take 1/2, and this is where I'm going to cut. Okay, set that aside. And now I'm going to thread this through my eye hook here. Kind of go ahead and even this out on both sides. I'm not going to pull it tremendously tight because I want there to be some give so that you can actually hang this on the wall, right? And then I'm going to start wrapping. Now, remember what I said about the difference between this wire and coated wire, that there is the possibility that you could have frays. And so you want to be really careful. Some people wear gloves when they do this because they don't want the chance that they're going to have you know, something poke in under their fingernail or in their hand, and it is uncomfortable, and it oftentimes does hurt a couple days afterwards. So anyway, you just carefully wind that around, and you do the same on the other side. Again, not pulling too taut because you want this picture to actually be able to be hung. Another wire that's nice to purchase is a braided wire, and that's actually what I'm using. I prefer the braided wire because it does not fray as easily. And you can kind of pull on that and see the flexibility there, and it's very secure. So just to recap, we're replacing this with this. It's much more tidy, it's going to be much longer lasting, and it looks like that this frame is ready to go. So now we have a perfectly attached and brand new picture hanging wire, and we no longer have the brittle and broken old version of what this once was. And I do a ton of frame restoration, and a great deal of that comes from damages that could have been easily remedied. So something like this is super simple to do. It's very inexpensive in comparison to have to send it to a shop. And it's something that could be done on an afternoon or over a weekend. Spread a drop cloth over your dining room table and put some foam down, and just take down some of your older frames that may have wire on there that's damaged. I get frames that have shoestrings, that have coat hangers that have been bent and used to hang. And I guess if it works in some cases, that's fine. But if it's something that really is kind of shoddy construction, and it's not good for the integrity of the frame, and especially if you have an expensive, a restored frame, a beautiful piece of artwork, I mean, come on, let's use some good wire back there. So I hope this helps. I hope that this will help you as you delve into caring for and curating your beautiful home. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.